Alright, oh, I'm back. Oh, what is going on? Alright, so this problem here, so I already did this, so you can see what I'm importing. So my challenge for this problem was really using the accumulate and using operator, because I feel like I don't use those that much, those modules from, like I don't use operator module much in Python, so I was like, okay, let's try playing around with this. So I came up with a way to solve this problem that kind of just uses those. I will say it's probably not the ideal solution because it does use some extra space complexity because you create an array, but you know, I just really did this just because I wanted to practice using these two tools in the Python API. So anyways, if we do this, we say, so the problem is XOR operation in an array. Given an integer n and an integer start, define an array nums where nums I is equal to start. So this is like a recursive formula. So like 2 times I. Well, is it recursive? It's not recursive because it doesn't depend on the previous value, so it's not recursive. But it's what is this called? Boy, I don't remember. But whatever. Anyways, you can see what you're doing here. You're incrementing it 2 times I. So you're incrementing based off the index, but multiplying by 2. So basically, every number is going to be incremented by 2. So like whatever you start at, the next number is going to be incremented by the 2. So if you start at 3, the next number is going to be 5, the next number is going to be 7, so on, increment by 2 each time. And you do that based off of n. You do it 5 times, or you do it 4 times, whatever. So what you want to do is you want to return the bitwise XOR of all elements of nums. So the first thing that I was going to do is we're going to need an array. And then in that array, you want to, for I in range, I want to go through in and yes. So I want to go through in, and I would want to basically use that to append to my array. So I'm going to append to my array, and I'm going to append the start value plus 2 times I, right? Because that's what it is. So like I is 0, you get 0. I is 1, you're going to add 2 to it, so on and so on. So that would return an array like this, right? So I get an array like this. Now, what I can do is I can return list of, well, okay, I'm going to have to convert this to a list. I already know that, because what I'm going to use is I'm going to create an iterable out of accumulate. And with accumulate, what I'm going to call is basically the array that I'm going to use accumulate on, array. Now what does accumulate usually do? By default, accumulate will basically multiply the previous element with the current element, kind of like. So it kind of like accumulates the value. What's that called? I don't know what that's called, but like if by default it's multiplication. So by default it do 0 times 2. Ooh, that'd be bad. I get 0, then it do everything would be 0 here. This one would do 3 times 5, 15, and it would do 15 times 7, so on and so on. So like it's a good way to calculate factorials because it uses the previous value. I usually use this to compute factorials. So I'll show like what this normally would do. But normally what accumulate would do is if you're given something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's say I use accumulate and I use an array. Alright, I messed up. By default it doesn't multiply, it adds. That's right. So by default what will happen is this. You will make an array 1, right? Because the previous value doesn't exist, but then it's going to make 2 plus 1. And then it's going to do 2 plus 1 plus 3. Then it's going to do 2 plus 1. Why am I doing the wrong order? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, and it's going to do 1 plus 2 plus 3. So you can see what it's doing. It's basically just adding the previous element. So like this one's adding 2, this one's adding 3 because the previous element was equal to 3. This one's equal to 6. So then you do here, you're going to do 6 plus 4, which is equal to 10. You can also compute factorials if you use this operator module. So you can tell it to, instead of using the addition operator, you can say use operator.mul, and that will actually create a factorial because it'll multiply the previous numbers. But what we want to do is we want to XOR, so we do operator.XOR. So we want to use the XOR operator. And we create a list from this accumulate, because accumulate is an iterable, it's not a list. And then the last value is the value of basically XORing every digit. So I'm going to run this real quick, or submit it, and we'll take a look at the runtime complexity and everything. Okay, it has a good runtime. It even has a good memory usage. I guess this is good memory usage. So yeah, it's pretty good. This is a good problem to practice learning operator and accumulate though.